become that, you can say, I don't pay for my house, my system does.
Sure.
I don't pay for my cars, my system does, right? That's what's wonderful about this industry.
Listen, I will say this. It's better at that than any of the traditional businesses we own. Why do you buy buses? Why do you buy all the fancy things? Are you ready? Why do you fly privately? Why do you do stuff like that? Here's why. You ready? Because the system.
Okay, let's stop.
Okay,
There,
questions?
right there, hold on. I wanted, if he wants to continue, but that's why you don't want to shortchange the system. You want to do the system exactly the way it's supposed to. If I owned a McDonald's franchise and every time there was a sale on meat at Costco, I decided to make my own burgers, they would cancel my franchise.
Say that again. There's power behind what he's saying here. Listen.
So when we talk about systems doing everything identical to what brings wealth, if you look at McDonald's, everyone could say that's probably one of the most successful franchises in the world. Like wherever you go in every country, they're all the same. So can you imagine if all these individual McDonald's owners said, well, you know, my McDonald's is not cash flowing the way I want it to. Every time there's a sale of meat at Costco, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna make my own burgers so I can be more profitable, it's all about the bottom line. If they stepped outside of that system, McDonald's would just cancel their franchise.
Absolutely.
Why? Because they're like, you're not doing what we're teaching you to do. This system is a proven business model. You stepped outside of the business when it's not necessary. Now you don't represent the system in the way it should. It's not going to work for you. It's going to make us look bad. We're pulling your ticket. Now, what if every one of us approached our businesses like that?
Yeah.
See the
Right?
difference?
Yeah.
Instead of going, yeah, I know they say this, but I'm going to do it like this. No, we're canceling your ticket. There'd be a lot of people in this room that wouldn't be here right now,
Yeah.
right? We teach this is what you should do. We strongly suggest it. We can't cancel your ticket, but we strongly suggest it. Why? Because this is what has given us success through the years. And it's been tried and tested.
Yes.
Everything that you think that you can do outside to make things more streamlined, I promise you somebody else has already tried it. Didn't work. So decades and decades and decades of all of those imaginations of how you could do it better have already been thought out and have been passed down and passed down and passed down to a place like this is what works, right? So hold the line. Hold the line. Do what the system that we teach. Don't shortchange it. Jim Rohn says, "Don't wish it were easier. You wish you just become better."
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Right? That's the same thing as when I say, you know, don't let the wind change you. You change the wind. You have to be rigid in how you hold the line if you own a franchise. Every one of you are invisible franchise owners.
Right.
So once you see that, you know, I can't do this. I got to figure out something else to do. I can't sacrifice or compromise the system because of my need. It's like do it all or don't do it at all. Right? Because one way brings success and the other way is just a slow, painful death. Did you want to say something?
To echo his point on holding the line, an example of mental strength, emotional strength, so to speak, in this whole process is when somebody does want to come in on a lower pack, or they say, well, actually, you can't even pay $50 and get in without product now, which is saving grace. If somebody says, well, I'm just going to purchase this one product for now, exercising that mental emotional strength is saying, no, I'm not going to let you enroll. You're really just a customer at that point. That's not following the system. You came to me because you want to learn how to make money. You told me in that three-way call that we had with Melissa that you want to pay off your credit card. I can't let you start bad habits right from the very beginning.
So good.
Because whatever you do will duplicate.
Good.
Don't feel that emotionalism of, I gotta get them in because I just want to get to Star because I want to get the $25.
Good. not worth $25.
It's not worth $25, thank you. So do you see how that transfers over into business?
You're just setting them up for failure.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, and it causes a cancer in your business because everything we do is duplicated.
Yeah.
Right?
Good
So
or bad.
you come, yeah, good or bad. So if you come in on a 49, everyone else is gonna, so what did you do? I just came in on the 49 and grabbed a spot. You just gave away $1 million spots.
Yeah.
You need to understand that.
It made no money.
Like you gave away $1 million spot for $49. You made nothing, you literally gave it away for free. Like, can you become wealthy by giving everything away for free? You cannot do that.
No.
It'll cause a cancer in your business, right? So you don't want to do that. You take away all of your power when you do that. All of your power is taken away when you give, because now, see, I go, no, I'll tell you what, when you have the money, then you come here. Now I let them have the anxiety of wanting to get involved. I'm not gonna let them in like that. There's no way I'm gonna sell out. I'm not gonna sell out to my team, I'm not gonna sell out. Is my time worth free? I spent an hour, 2 hours of this trying to get in the business and they're gonna come in on a $49. I just worked for 2 hours for free. How many times can you do that? And then when your friends are doing it and your downline's doing it, take that, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, right? You've gone through a whole 40-hour week, but your team is giving away 35 hours in free. And everyone's looking down going, man, there's a ton of people here, but we're not getting paid. This sucks. Don't be the starter of that fire.
That's right.
Because the people who come in on the low, come in on the minimums like that, they're the ones who, well, I tried that, it didn't work.
Yeah.
There's no skin in the game.
And they won't, and then they won't. Now that they have the spot, now there's no, we don't lead with fear of missing out, but there is a first mover's advantage. Now they're gonna go, you know what, yeah, I don't have the money this week, I don't have this money in the week, and they just sit and sit and sit, and then the chances are they never come in at all.
Yeah.
And then now you're looking down at your tree and you have 25 empty spots, nobody doing anything. That's discouraging for everyone. And then now you have somebody who's really good and you're putting them in a spot and there's 25 losers that are above them that you're like, wow, why did I sell out like that? Like these people didn't do anything. I just gave it away for free. And you take away from your story too. Because when you're first building your business, you're like, I have very valuable spots. I'm just launching my business. My top 3 spots, my top 5 spots, my top 10 spots, like I'm just getting started. Now you can't even say that. Now you're like, in spot 50, can you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do it. I mean, as we build our business, everyone comes in with the same opportunity, but don't cut yourself short. Don't bleed out before you ever get a chance to even build a business. Don't do that because you want to get the yes. It's not worth the yes. It's not a win. It'll take away from you. It'll discourage you. You'll feel like you're working for nothing because you are.
You know, Rick, why we do that, it boils to one thing, belief. It boils down to one thing, lack of belief. And when you do that with somebody, it's showing where your belief is in yourself and what you're doing and your belief in the person you're talking to. That's what it's truly showing. That's experience speaking, that's wisdom speaking, that's what it's showing. Because if you believe the way Rick believes, in what he's doing and what he has his hands on and all that, you're gonna talk from that perspective. When your belief is not there, you're gonna talk whatever you can get them in on. It's all a belief issue. That's why the Bible says all things are possible for them that believe. In other words, in unbelief, nothing's possible. Just the opposite. Nothing's possible. So it all goes back to a belief thing. Another thing I'll say is this. Everybody recording this here, I want you to tell you this. It's for you. Don't put today out on social media. Why? You invested to be here. They didn't. Yeah. This mastermind is for you. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This mastermind is for you.
Wow, look at you. No way.
So we got some white paper. Lord have mercy. We used white paper before. So how many agree? How many understand? Say,
yes, sir.
This mastermind's for me.
Yep.
You know why?
Thank you so much.
Are you ready? If all you do is give everybody, listen to me, I'm going to teach you something. If all you do is give everything away for free, you'll never get them here.
This is just for us.
My mentors taught us this. Are you ready? Make them want to be where you're at.
Yeah.
Make them wanna come to where you're at. But if you give them a reason not to come, they'll never come. Absolutely. Absolutely. If your team's not here, they don't need to hear this.
Yeah.
You gotta make them wanna be here that bad. You know why you're here? You chose to be here.
You drop nuggets.
Okay? Yeah, you can tease them a little bit. Man, you don't, man, let me tell you. You should have heard what Rick said at that mastermind. What'd he say? You gotta be at the next one. We'll have one in Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you know, I'm not the guy laughing. You know what my mentor did to us? If you ever opened your mouth when you're in a private setting and they weren't there, you never got back in.
Mhm.
He said, you gotta make them wanna be here, Frank. If you keep telling them everything I'm saying, they're never gonna wanna be here. And you know what he says? You're cutting their success cycle right out from up under them.
Yeah.
You're cutting their success cycle right up under them because you think you're helping them. And he says, actually, you're hurting them.
Enabling them. Yeah.
You're actually hurting them. So always understand something. At every event that we do, there will always be a mastermind after the church service. Always be one. There will always be a church service at any event that we do. That's something the three of us thinks is most crucial. It's a non-negotiable. The mastermind's non-negotiable. All right?
Well, we're all here.
That's exactly right. Because you made a decision. And what Melissa said, you're 100% right, gal. We honor you for coming. Why do you have access to him? Because you're here.
Serious.
You're serious. Why do you have access to him? And your leaders, Melissa, I'm pointing over there, that's Melissa sitting on front of you. You can see the back of her head. Why do you have access to these guys? Because you're here. You know what my mentor, he did? He'd never give access to somebody who wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, you want to wear yourself out? You want to wear yourself out? Give access to somebody that's not hungry. They'll wear you out 100% of the time. Well, you know why? Listen, you were saying, because they're takers and not givers. There's only two types of people, givers and takers. Which one are you? Don't tell me. You want me to tell you who you are? You want to know? How many want to know who the next leaders are? Raise your hand. Come on, tell me. How many want to know who's the next leaders? You show me who's the one doing the serving. They're your next leaders.
And the ones that are here.
And the ones that are here. You know what? We never watch this. We talk about pen level because that's what the company talks. But to us, it means nothing. Leadership doesn't mean pen level in the business to me.
Yeah.
You know what it does? Character, integrity, values, principles, doing what you say when you say you're going to do it. How many understand what I'm talking about?
Totally.
That's leadership. That's leadership. Volume, no. You know what? In all the years me and Rick talk, we have never discussed volume one time, have we? Kim, have me and Kim talk all the time. Have we ever talked volume one time? Melissa, me and you ever talked about volume one time? Smiles, have we, honey? Not one time. You know why? I'm not interested in that. You know what I'm interested in?
Irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. You know what I'm interested in? Helping Smiles become the best her, and if I help her become the best her volume will automatically go up.
Yeah.
Can you see that? That's the heart of what we're saying. That's
This is the truth. If I can help Jason, and I can help her become the best her volume's gonna go up every time. I don't want it that, I don't want it the vice versa, the volume goes up without her going up, because then you know what's gonna, bam. Shift every time. It'll shift every time. That's why our whole life and our whole goal is about building people. What? You build people, people build the business. It's a complete different thinking. Rick, I want to touch something. I want you to talk about it for a second. We did a couple of masterminds ago. The difference between us and the company. You have to understand the difference. We talk about it. We don't sound like the company because we're not the company. The company's here to ship products, create products, pay commissions, take care of all the compliance and all the customer support. Here, let me give you the secret. That is all the headaches in business nobody wants to deal with. Say thank you, company.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Company.
Thank you.
Now, you know what? Now, here's what we're here for. Your leaders. You know, we're here to teach you the what, why, and how of what we do, why we do it, and when we do it. I've never understood it. You know what's so special about what we're doing here? I don't make, outside of Amway, this is the only team in networking doing their own events. They're all led by corporate. Outside of Amway, this is it. You go look out there. And I've never understood. How can somebody lead you and teach you how to develop wealth and build a business when they're not building it themselves? It's a point of experience they don't have. How many know that's just good common sense?
Yeah.
Just like I can't teach you how to make a product, how compliance works, and do customer support. Well, I can't even use a computer.
It's not your wheelhouse.
How many understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
It's a completely different thinking. And Rick does a lot better on it than I do, Rick. You want to touch on that for a second about what we do and all that?
Well, I mean, most of the people in here understand now that we leverage Paseo as a fulfillment center.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do we say it like that? We're not saying it to discredit
Right.
the value of the company. But when you explain that Paseo is a type of fulfillment center, then people that own businesses, they understand fulfillment centers. Now you're
Right.
speaking their language.
Yeah.
Because they see so many people that are excited about, oh my God, the company, oh my God, this, oh my God, this. It sounds cultish.
Yeah.
Because people that do big business, they don't get that excited about their fulfillment centers. Right? So then when you go to another company, they're like, wait a second, I thought you were like in love with your other, I don't get it. No, it's a fulfillment center. As long as they continue to do and ship products and pay people and do all that, and they're operating as a 10, man, like then they made our job so much easier. Now all we have to do, because we're the company, the team is the company, you have your own company.
Right.
We do the teaching, the training, the culture. I don't rely on the culture of Paseo.
That's right.
I'm not gonna give my culture away to my power to somebody else, because if they make mistakes, then it affects my culture. Can you see that?
Yes.
If we have our own culture, then we are good. We leverage that. Business owners understand that. They don't understand being so fired up and in love with your company. They run from that. I ran from that. So this is why we bring them in, and what do we really we educate people into the business. We don't sell them into the business. So when all the other companies and organizations are out there, they're selling Paseo. We're selling Education Business School. Education Business School, and it looks like that, right? So it looks like, so here's your prospect, P for prospect. This is the business school, BS. Not to be confused. And this is Paseo. So we bring them through the door of the business school and education, so now they know how to leverage this effectively.
Absolutely.
And they respect business school, they respect education. They don't know what to do about Paseo yet. But when you educate them right, they can see the leverage. So where other companies and maybe other organizations sell directly just Paseo, that's why they tend to go, I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of weird that you're so in love with your company. But it's okay to be in love with financial education, right? I don't know anyone who wants to be a success that would say financial education isn't for me.
You know, it's like being in love with Nike. You know what I'm saying, Rick? It'd be like being in love with Nike. You understand what I'm talking about? It's like being in love with Nike. You can't. It's a company. There's nothing there.
Okay, hold on, stop before you say that, Kim. I know she wants to say this, but I want to show you something here too. This here, this business school, this is retention.
Absolutely.
This is where you find OWL. If you want to know Overcome Nation's secret, this is it. Our people stay and they don't leave because of this.
Yes.
Not because of Paseo, even though it's wonderful, but people quit all the time. There's a lot of amazing companies out there, lots of them. How come the retention is 2 to 3% and ours is 70 and higher? Because we hold them in the business school. Can you see that? Can you see why it works too?
Yes.
If people are getting value, see, if it was just about LCP and your points flushing, that happens every day in this $300 billion a year industry. Why don't people stay? But if you give them more than what they're paying for, they find a lot of reasons and a lot of value to stay.
Yeah.
This is where all the power is. Go ahead, Ken.
that is what you put on social media. So Rick was just saying, oh, you're so in love with your company, but then you go over here and you fall in love again, and then you fall in love again, and then you fall in love again. I thought the company was so great. That's what you see everybody doing on social platforms. I love my company. I love my products. There's great companies out there. Zayo's the best. There's great products out there. We have the best. But that falls on deaf ears because all of your network they've heard that before. So how do you break through the noise? Business school, financial education, applying what it is that you learn. My pyramid is better than your pyramid. Does that all make sense now?
Yes.
So now all of you are challenged. In order to communicate this value, you do Facebook Lives, you do Facebook interviews, and you ask the really tough, provocative questions that everybody's thinking in their mind, and they try to come up with their own answers through frivolous research that doesn't even make sense. And now you have somebody that's been successful in this industry calling out the very uncomfortable things that leaders have to deal with that they don't know how to fix because they don't have the system or the leadership that's walked it out with the right heart in place. That's not charging their people for millions of dollars of education because they're getting more than what they pay for. And people see value in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is what you sell, quote, quote, on social media. That's how you break through the noise. That's how we attract other leaders. We know the pain points of other leaders because Melissa and I were there. We know exactly what they are. That's something that we've started to study is I go to compensation plans. I watch team cultures. I watch what people are doing on social media. And then I take what they're doing and I write a post about it. So you guys are always asking me, where do you get your stuff from? I read. And isn't that part of the system? Or system or the model? What you read, who you listen to, who you hang out with? Right? It's the books, it's the content. You heard Matt say on the documentary that Rick studies for 5 hours a day. He's not lying. So if you want to have the capacity of Rick, are you willing to dedicate that time and then show that on your social media? You will sound completely different. And I'll wrap it up with this. There's a reason why I left my very first 2 Facebook Live videos up. And it's so you guys could see what I sounded like. That I did kind of sound like everybody else. I was trying to give away product just to get people to follow me. Because I didn't know what else to say. Because I didn't have anything of value to bring to get them to join me other than, hey, it's really great. And that's what everybody else was saying. That's not convincing enough. You guys are going to have to, so first chapter that a lot of you are in right now is finding your voice. We can give you a lot of mechanics. We could write out the script for you, but unless you make it your own, and that's chapter 1, that's like star 800 stuff. You're not going to move forward to the next level. So many of you are like, I don't know what to say. Well, there's always going to be that small element of figuring it out. Mm-hmm. When I did that pyramid video, I spent 45 minutes to an hour on the phone with Rick. He didn't know I was taking notes. Constantly. And then I had 6 pages like this on my computer, which I could barely even read. But I wanted something to look at in case there was a talking point that I started to get lost on. I could reference that. There was no video for me to learn from it. It was one 45-minute conversation with him. That was it. But I had to take what I wrote down and apply it immediately to make it mine. So when you guys have these revelations on the Facebook Lives, if you have to listen to it in your car, listen to it in your car. But if you have the opportunity to set time aside, because that's working hours, that's school time, and you take notes, the very next day you should be doing a Facebook Live on what you learned. Going for no is ruining your business. You think people are going to tune into that? Especially network marketers, because that's what they've been fed. You're going to get somebody's attention because you sound different. That's how you attract bigger people and recruiting up. People that are willing to pay the $1,500. People that understand the value of that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I know we're going to do questions,
All
but
right.
maybe Rick has some
So I'm
thoughts.
gonna add to that. Hold on. This, retention is what? What is retention?
Money.
Money. Retention is your check. So do you want to compromise in this area? No. You don't want to be a person that recruits 200 people and can't get people to stay. You don't want to continue to build your business over and over again. Like, I haven't enrolled 180 people in my entire career, and I've made millions. I think Frank and I talked about his decades and mine. I don't think even together we've enrolled 300 people in his 33 years and my 15 years. Why?
Wow.
We keep what we got. Why do we keep what we got? Because we have this. We emphasize on this. If you're gonna get somebody in, do you want to be like, oh my God, they're falling out. Lost another one. Oh my God, just slipping through your hand. Lost another one. No, you want to keep them in the boat. And the more effective they are, the easier it is. And when you can do that, you can teach until you become no longer relevant, right? Because your team's got it. That's the ticket to freedom. When you don't have this, then here's your prospect, and you don't have that, so you go, oh, product, push play business, leveraging videos, which are great, but you don't want to hide behind them because it stifles growth. That's why she said we don't believe in scripts. Scripts rob you of capacity. Can you see that?
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to repeat line upon line. We want you to be able to think on your feet. Can you see that? So let the rest of the industry take their prospect to products and, oh my gosh, this is the greatest compensation plan, and let them feed in the blood red water of competition where everybody is saying that.
And Rick, one last, I wanna add something here. That's fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. When he's drawing, listen, this sounds like everybody. I'm not gonna write, because I can't spell the words, all of them. But this is what everybody, why they run away from our industry. Exactly what you got drawn up here, Rick, is why. Nobody wants this. Why are people telling us no? Because their perception of what we do is outselling and pushing products.
That's right.
I mean, understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's why for 3 decades, I have always led with business. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman. I have never, watch this, I've never read one thing about any product. I've been in 2 companies in 33 years. Paseo is my 3rd company. I feel like it's still the 2nd company because the last 14 years I was with Dow. So I've never talked about product, I've never looked about product because I've never seen it that way. I've always seen it as a business. That's what Rick is talking about here. Now you're talking and speaking a different language when you come this way. Here you sound like everybody in the industry. How many understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then you put yourself in a position that you will lose 100% of the time. Here, let me give you some examples. You start debating whose product's the best.
Right.
You can't, hush up, that's not even smart talking. Now let me explain that to you. No, we believe ours is the best. They believe theirs is the best.
Yeah.
You
Never
can't win that
Never win.
discussion.
Yeah.
Avoid them.
Yeah.
How many understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know, they believe their comp plan's the best. Let me draw it out for you. Let me show this. We believe ours is the best. Both people are right. Because it's their belief. Now let me explain something to you. This is a dividing factor 100% of the time, in my opinion. Here's what I know. Success does breed success. Period. When you're hooked up with the right people that have the right understanding, the right information, the right experiences, are you ready?
Yeah.
That have had the test of time. Me personally, the test of time is everything. I know people's been in 4, 5, 6 networks, made a little bit of money here. I never listen to that. He made millions in his last one. He made millions in the gemstones and all them businesses. Facts. Facts don't lie, people do. True. Tens and tens and tens of dump truck loads of money. Facts. And both networking companies we've been in. This is the third one. I'm not gonna say here. And then tens of millions of the other company. It's facts. Remember, people lie, facts don't. What's the dividing factor? You know what I always talk about? I talk about this, but now watch this. Not only do I talk about this, here's what I talk about. When I talk about that, I talk about the people. I talk about the big guy.
The leadership.
I talk about the leaders. Because here's what I found, winning and losing falls on one thing, leadership. Winning and losing is on leadership. What sets us apart? What sets us apart? Experience, time tested, time proven, which equals leadership. Have you understood what I just said? Then Kim's gonna add something to it. So what do? I always go back to talking about the people. Why? The people are the difference maker in any endeavor in life. The people are the difference maker.
Okay. So this,
Oh, we'll let them answer questions.
So-
Follow this up.
so I love to take points and drive them deeper and deeper, okay? So when you look at this and you build like everybody else does in this industry, and you have to make a big deal about the cars, the houses and the things, you're creating shiny objects to pull people in, okay? Let the rest do that. When you have this and you have the education, you have respect, and you can still pay cash for all of these things. Show them where real value is. Your value is not in your cars, but you can pay cash for them.
Yeah.
Your value isn't for your houses, in your houses, but you can pay cash for them. As long as you focus on this, because real people respect this over this. This will bring you a check, but it will not bring you respect. How many people do you know that your friends will go, yeah, he's making $1 million, look at him with all his fancy cars and da-da-da-da. They don't give him the respect that they deserve. And then even after they hear them talk, they don't give them the respect that they deserve. They'll respect their money, but they won't respect them as a person, and they won't respect the content that's coming out of their mouth. But if you take this person here that has all of this, they can afford all of this, but they're not showing you all the shiny things. And then they have a conversation and you put this person